Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. My name is Muhammad Sami, and I'm going to do the ASM code, which is part 2 of the COA project. Right. So, as we saw in the project group project PDF file, which is explained is everything, we understand that we actually need to do an assembly program calculation based on the we're gonna like test the measurement of the time taken to execute different loops for the polynomial equation, which is this equation. And then we're going to see use A, P, and C and D are coefficient. We're going to use them as coefficient, and X is going to be the integer. So A and B and C and D will be the birthdays of the group members. Okay, and as you can see, this is our algorithm we're going to use for benchmarking. This is all information should be written already. So we have 4 students in the group. We're going to select the days as example. And this is basically telling us an example how we're going to set it up, and then the coefficient, and then if you have only 3 students, value do you choose in random value. So we have 4 students, so we're okay with that, and so on the files and teaching us and telling us what to do and how we do it. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So going to the most important part, which is the code itself. Definitely we use the Erwin 32 library to do it, and then as you can see we define some data here in the code. We have the welcome message for once we start should show in the terminal. Welcome to CB benchmark programs. We have the education benchmark. We're gonna use we use this to tell the user that we're gonna use this equation. Okay, we have the input enter number for n. It sets by 0 by default, which is acts like none because there's no data inputted yet. We have the start result 1, which is gonna be the first result in millisecond, second result, and then we're gonna see the difference between execution time and millisecond. And then we have the sum of 4 results, and in the end we can ask the user if he wants to continue with another value or the same value again, or just exit. Okay, so we have 4 different variables here. We have the loop. Okay, so this is going to be based on the user input. We have the start time before the loop, and then we have the end time after the loop, and then we're going to have the calculation elapsed time. We have the 4 coefficient, as mentioned before, the birthdays, as you can see, based on birthdays. We put it at 5, 8, 15, and 10, for example. We have the variables here. As you can see, this is our variables. We mentioned x, of course, because we're going to use it as the current value in the loop. So this is the start of our program from .code. What's happening under there is actually the start of our program. All of that is basically defining the data and the objectives. So now we start by basically displaying the welcome, and then we're gonna start by start with the messaging welcome. We're gonna move it to edx, and then we're gonna call the writing string, which is the one that we found up there. Okay, the write string, and then we're gonna offset the message equation to move it. We're gonna move it to edx. We're gonna offset that, and then we're gonna call the write string, and then we're gonna call the corlf. Okay, this is happening with the loop. This is just for the start. Now we're gonna go to the loop. Now we're gonna ask the user for loop count, how many loop counts he wants. We're gonna see the input of the user, which is gonna be here in this area exactly, which is gonna be the end. And then we're gonna call the write string, and then we're gonna read what the user says, and then we're gonna do it, store the input. Okay, and that's it. Now we're gonna start the benchmarking timing, captures the start, and we're gonna display the start time. Okay, using the message result 1, which is going to be, as we said, the first start, and then we're gonna do the loop from x equal 1 to n. Okay, so we're gonna set the loop counter to n, and then set x at 1, and then we're gonna reset the sum after the user finishes, and then here we're gonna calculate the loop, as we said. So we're gonna calculate the loop based on the terms, and then we're gonna apply the delay, and then we're gonna multiply. Then we're gonna use the second term, apply the delay, multiply by b, and then use the third term. Use the third term, apply the delay, multiply by C, and then use the fourth term, apply the delay, and multiply by D. Okay, and then we're gonna have the accumulate sum. Okay, which is gonna be sum plus Y, which is gonna be called the final value, and then increment X for the next iteration. Okay, and then we're gonna restore the loop counter. Then we're gonna ask the we had an error here, so I had to ask ChatGPT to fix it for me. Sorry for that. Then we're gonna end the benchmark, capture the end flag, display the end timing, and then calculate and display elapsed time. And at the end, that's it. So we're gonna then give a user a prompt to continue or exit. Now enough talking. Let's just build or debug this. Started. Okay, the terminal opened in another screen monitor. Sorry. So in the assignment, in the project, it's asked us to number of loops. We have 50, 100, 200, 500, 700, and 1000. So based on that, let's start with maybe 50 to see. For example, I'm gonna put 50 here, enter. So it's gonna capture the execution time in millisecond. Then, as you can see, it's gonna second capture the execution time in millisecond. It gives us this value. Then the difference between both of them, and then the sum of values. Okay, let's say we want to continue. Gonna press U. Okay, and then we're gonna ask me how much. I'll say maybe 200. I'm gonna click enter. We'll do the same thing again. This is the definitely it will take longer. This is the execution time in millisecond before. Oh, sorry, this is the first capture, and this is the second capture in millisecond. And as you can see, the difference execution time in millisecond is much larger comparing to this one, because we definitely have multiplied the number of loops. So we have multiplied it by 3. Instead of 50, it's 200. And then this is the sum of the values, and so on with the rest of the results. And that's it. I'm gonna add these results to our submission. That's it for the ASM code. Assalamu alaikum.